It's like we're live.
James, nice to see you.
Good to see you. Get this all this technical stuff working. So it's a nice new approach. I think I have a lot of good conversations in the future.
Well, if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to possibly respond to, something we can. This is a very informal one between us. I was
Right.
just kind of thinking that just available, whatever
Yes.
you want me to speak or kind of share my inner insights with you, with everyone else. I'm just available.
Yeah, that would be, obviously what the pandemic and everything that we're going through, we face a lot of challenges, and every day we're getting this report and then the next day it's conflicting information, on top of all the stress of dealing with it on a daily basis, I know you've talked about the health aspects as far as the mental health. Um, how do you see us moving forward? Things may get better. There's indications that this Omicron may be the last vestiges of uh, this outbreak, perhaps, hopefully. But the persons dealing with this, coming out of this, how do we move forward and keep our not only physically healthy but our mental? That would be my question.
Yeah, I get you. Well, the most important thing that came as a message from the universe to us, to all of us in the humanity. I think all over the world for the last 2 years, almost close to 2 years, we have been going through lots of experiences. And you know very well, every experience has got to do with consciousness because no experience is possible without consciousness. Any experience in human life is founded on our consciousness. It's only when I'm conscious, I can see you, I can talk to you, I can express my feelings to you, I can even get to know the other and everything around. All is related to A to Z of our life in the foundation of consciousness. There's nothing beyond consciousness as far as our life on this planet is concerned. My whole vision is this, that the universe, or particularly this particular plane of consciousness that we call as the planet Earth, here we come, all of us, we come in order to trade some paths, in order to go through some experiences, in order to go through these experiences, not knowing this is a movement through consciousness. We are unconscious about it. But the idea with which we finally came to this world is we wanted to learn. We wanted to upgrade ourselves. We wanted to finish up all our past karmas, which needed to be flushed out of us or needed us to allow us to evolve to our next stage. Globally, if you look at it, there has been such immense amount of education for all of us all over the world. We have gone through such tough tests, such tough challenges and situations and circumstances. No one in the world ever dreamed that we would possibly face this kind of a situation. But out of all this, we have learned so much. We have learned that there is so much in this world that can be availed, provided we are open to the universe. And there is so much that can be done so far as our personal life is concerned, our family life is concerned, our life in the society is concerned. And in every sense, you'll find that all of it comes down to one point. To me, it was a learning session all along. And even today, as we have stepped into this new year, I only want to say one thing, that the one and only way by which we can win over any situations of life is to first and foremost come to this fundamental fact that we need to become more and more conscious beings. We need to be more aware and conscious. We need to be more mindful and conscious. And here we are all over the world, if you look at it. Very unconsciously, we have been living our life. And maybe have damaged nature to a great extent. And the time has come for all of us all over the world to wake up to a new kind of a concept of civilization, wherein we start to respect nature and allow the nature to respect us. Because whatever we respect, that respects us. Whatever we give, that same thing is given back to us. So it's a law of reciprocity. You know, what we give to the nature, nature gives us back. Whatever we give to others, the others give it back to us. It's a pure reciprocal mirroring. So I think the time has come for all of us to realize that if we ignore our inner life, then we really miss out on many, many very, very valued and very, very deeply, profoundly insightful things that life offers to us all the time. Only life that is externalized, materialized, grossed, masked up, we simply miss so much every day. But for that inner life, that retreat is needed. We need to get back to ourselves a little more. And you all can see how globally humanity is gradually learning yoga, meditation, pranayamas or breath works, mindfulness, heartfulness, forgiveness, all of it, or in that sense, pure love, unconditional love, gratitude. All these words are now resonating all over the world so much more than ever before. And it's because we have realized that if we don't grow mutually in love, mutually in gratitude, mutually in reciprocity of give and take of the good and positive side of our life, if we don't live a life of a true human with all the values of humanity, of humanness, it's not what religion you belong to. It's not what philosophy you follow. It's not what is your belief system. At the end of the day, we are only interested about one thing, and that is how I can be more calmer in my mind, how I can be more heartful, more mindful, more available, and able to bring out this aspect of love into our life. Because love is one cementing force that binds and bonds everything together. So this is a time when, if we are forced to be inside our homes, to work from home or have everything from our home, then this is also a time we gradually get back to our true home in our own mind. And to do that, the yogis and the rishis and all the great masters of all over the world, coming from every faith traditions, they have only taught one thing to all of us, and that is find time to sit quiet at one place and allow the mind to float and be wherever it is or wherever it wants to go, but just keep observing it for a few seconds, and you'll find whatever you observe, that particular thing is gradually changed. See, if we learn to just observe our breath every day, look at this. We are talking about this coronavirus, this COVID, so much. But none of us are talking so much about how we can improve and increase our immune system stronger and stronger. And this is possible provided we learn how to breathe. None of us do that. We are all, looking for what the others are going to do to me in case if I'm sick or whatever. But God has gifted each one of us in our very body. The inner system is made in such a way that we can never have any disease in life, provided we live at ease in true symphony with nature. If we are naturally living our life and not this typical, unnatural life patterns of ours, to get back to the nature within and without, to balance between the inner and the outer, all of it are the simple means by which, whatever the external situations and circumstances, you can always be the winner, provided you are anchored in your calm mind. Because a calm mind has unique clarity of its own. It can see through the haze and the mist of the external situations and circumstances, which at times may be completely against our wish, completely against what we possibly could dream and think about. So if such challenges come, a calm mind can always handle such situations with huge confidence, and at the same time can decide the decisions would be pro-life, will be positive, and all of it is dependent on one factor. How, from the moment I wake up in the morning till I go to my bed, what is my lifestyle? How do I live my everyday life? Do I keep repeating the same mistakes that I did yesterday and day before yesterday and the past days? Or every day, every morning I wake up to take that particular day as a wonderful journey on a path that may be of a daily type, but that will be always with a conviction and a commitment to my inner mind that I will make this day the best day of my life, whatever the external situations and circumstance challenges could be. And each moments of my whole day would be spent in awareness and consciousness of the fact that I am here to improve anything and everything I'm doing. Whatever chore I do, whatever I'm expected to do, I must do it better than yesterday. I must keep improving every day. And that particular sense of my inner purification is so very important. Just think about it. Until and unless we come to our own mind and not being judgmental about what others' minds are conspiring against us, or how the nature is conspiring against us, how the others are affecting our life and adding more stress into our life. Until this, we withdraw ourselves from these typical judgmental views about the world around and come within to just allow the mind to settle by itself. When we are not extremely judgmental, but we are just observers of what is happening around us, then automatically mind gets a moment of time to reset itself into a calmer state, and you can be rest assured. That's exactly what meditation can give us. Every day, 20 minutes, if a person can just sit and watch the mind and its own play uninterrupted by any interference, any judgment. If it's a pure practice of awareness of the physical sensations of the body in a deeper level, if it could be pure observation of the breath as it moves in and as it moves out, a few seconds of pure observations of our breath could instantly change our emotion, can instantly change our consciousness from it could be a paradigm shift over a period of time of how we have been living our life. And how the same life with its all the same challenges could look so different to us, because we always look through the glasses of our mind. The cleaner the mind is, the sharper is the vision, the better is the way to look at things. And all our interpretations, perceptions, are based on what kind of sanskaras we are building, what kind of tendencies we are building, and all of it comes from our repetitive modes of our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions. So finally, to possibly sum it up, what I would look forward to is this: bring the aspect of inner introspection a little more than continually being judgmental about what's happening around, what the news feed is feeding us all the time, the scare and the fear that is spread all over in the name of COVID or whatever. If we allow this news, we allow this data, we allow this information to continuously get into our brain, then there's a possibility that we will be inviting more and more problems, not only in our individual life, but in the collective life of humanity. Yes, the time has come for all of us to wake up to our prime responsibility in life, and that is to know who we are, to know what's the purpose of our life, to know what is the meaning of the very journey that we have undertaken. What's the goal of our life? Why are we here? Why are we doing what we are doing on a daily basis? Finally, the most subtlest question that each one of us need to answer: who is the true doer of all our doings? Are we human beings or human doings? If we are human beings, the time has come for us to be little more available to our being within. Being is the existence. When I say I am, then the I could be my ego, but that amness is the being. I, the being, that's I am. So if we can contemplate on I, which is like an existential individuality that I'm expressing with that word, but I do not know the source of that I, nor do I know the source of the being that is am. So I am, unless I sit and watch within me this unique drama of life that is happening, this whole 50, 60, 70, 100 trillion cells in a symphony, until as I'm available to this, if I don't sit and watch this play of divine light and sounds that is inside of me, and allow it to gradually declutter itself and make it cleaner and cleaner, purer and purer, we will not be able to really experience the true depth and the meaning and the purpose of life. So I think it's time for all of us to awaken to a reality that we as humanity have to unite in the bond of love, forgiveness, joy, and the spirit of unity consciousness, which is the purpose of our visit to this planet Earth. That we live for love and we share love, and we only see that God has one purpose: that we respect each other, live for each other, and make this beautiful world a true place of joy, happiness, health, and harmony.
Yeah, very good. So, do you have time for one more question?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the words that you used initially were same thing could be said with karma. You know, it's pain and suffering that we go through that we need to learn and take away a lesson from. Just kind of like put it in a nutshell. Uh, Is COVID part of that process, like on a global aspect? You know, because in my lifetime, in your lifetime, we've never seen something that has affected every person on this planet. There must be a deeper purpose on a karmic level for us going through this. Is it?
Beautiful question. I think, James, one thing we always need to keep in our mind that when we are talking about karma, we are basically talking about a force, a power And this force and the power is basically fundamentally rooted into a particular concept of the cause and effect. You'll always agree that nothing happens in an individual life if you do not see the cause and effect chain. Everything that we see in this particular environment around, we'll see that there is a seed for everything in this world. If we are seeing a tree or a plant or anything, we'll see that we know that there must have been a seed there. And the beauty of this is that the seed potentially carries everything that is going to manifest tomorrow if a seedling or a plant or a tree is grown in that. Now the seed contains the potentiality. So you can just absolutely be clear. Nothing happens without a cause behind, both at individual level as well as at the collective level of humanity. Yes, I am absolutely convinced this is a collective consciousness. This is the collective humanity and the karmic forces of the collective consciousness of all humans on this planet must have been more into unconscious way of living, filled with greed and avarice and all the other tendencies which are mostly negative in nature. You know, if you just see the news feed in the news channels all over the world, you can just see that what has been happening. We as a humanity, we have fared so bad. What message we have today to give to our next generations? What have we done as humans on this planet to Earth Mother? What has been our contribution in building this beautiful gift of God, or to sustain it? What has been our contribution? So individually and collectively, if you look at it, we have miserably failed at every level of our human life. From politics to economics, to every sphere of human life, you find that our karma individually and collectively has been extremely negative. It has never been so positive. As a result, you can just imagine, if not Corona, if not COVID, if not something like this, something would have definitely come, because after all, we have all been planting the seed for the seedling to come in its own time span dimension. So, yes, I totally agree. It is collective consciousness which needs some kind of awakening. And until unless we go through a shock treatment in a very deep way, where millions die or millions are in absolutely, a mode of fear and anxiety and tension and whatnot. You look at the economics of the whole world today, it's in shambles. This karmic thing has come for all of us so that we can do a kind of a reassessment about the values of humanity, what we have been living for and what we are supposed to live for if we are to sustain this earth, not just individually but collectively. Can we sustain the way we have been going? Scientists after scientists all over the world, with all their knowledge and information and data processed perfectly well, they have been only telling time and again, time is coming for all of us to go to the worst from nature. Who knows? The karma, the cause, and the effect that we are seeing globally is pure helplessness. And well, I would only pray to God that we learn the lesson. That's all I can say. I every day pray to God for little more awakening in consciousness of the humanity, so that we start to realize that the way we are living is not the right art of living for all of us. We need to change, and the change has to come a little closer to our inner life, and then balancing out with the outer life. And once the inner and the outer is breached properly, we would see that all these causes will diminish and disappear, and the causes of good will only give birth to good.
That's about all I have for today. I don't have any other questions at this point. So
thank you so much, James. It was so nice to see you. If you could say a couple of words about years back in Michigan or in Calamar. When did I first see you? I saw you first in South
in
Bend.
South Bend,
Right. That was in the year?
93, 90.
Exactly. It was in the year, it was 92. I think
92.
I saw you in 92.
Yeah.
And since then, you have been always with me for all these years, and you accompanied me to Barcelona for the Parliament of World Religions in 2004. We had such a wonderful time at Montserrat and all the other places.
Sundarbans.
So, Sundarbans, and you are one. Can you just say a couple of words about your visit to Sundarbans way back in the early 90s? I think you came.
It was
Just
yeah,
a couple of words.
It was
Yes,
during the
if you can say
millennium.
that.
It was during the new year for 2000. So we were there for a peace rally, and so there was it's just amazing. So these children and adults all were marching like to celebrate the new millennium. And as far as the eye could see, I was up on top of a truck, and
If I remember correct, you were on the top of a bus
yeah,
with your video camera, and you
yeah.
couldn't see the two ends of this huge procession. You said
You
this
could
is
see as far
this
as
is
I could see, and I remember the children
holding
saying,
placards.
yeah, and saying Hindu Muslim bye bye, like they were brothers. It was
Yes, it's so true.
it was
It remind
amazing.
me, and I remember that when you used to go to the villages and you accompanied me, you were surrounded by all the girls of the village, and I remember I told everybody, hey, this is Krishna from America.
Well, I just think they probably never saw
and
anything
all
like
the
that.
gopi, you had collected so many gopis from all around.
No, that was yeah, it was a really a lifetime experience.
It was so beautiful.
Something
It
to
was so
see.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember at that time we were working in Sandesh Khali and in
Hmm.
Sundarbans, different areas. And this was one of the biggest rallies that even the people of that area ever had seen, the
Yeah.
2000 Millennium March that we did.
Yeah.
With thousands and thousands and
Thousands.
thousands of children, men, women. It was wonderful. It was such a beautiful. And I remember you were one representative from there all the way to see the whole thing and go back and tell them all that what I saw.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
amazing.
this is Loknath Divine Life Mission, which has always had this vision to bring everybody together. And I used to always tell everybody, look here, I have not come to this village to make this village rich. I have come to this village to make each one of you rich in your hearts.
Yeah.
And so that you never have to bow down and ask for alms from anyone, that each one of you have so much strength and power that you can stand on your own and you can create wealth and you can share wealth and you can always give your best to the world, not just ask from it. And I know you can do it. And today, James, I will tell you, they are doing extremely well. Each villagers have been through this micro credit system. In our mission, we have their self-help groups. They are doing so good, so well. I'm so happy about it.
It's really something. It's too bad, people who follow you can't see it with their own eyes, the effect and the self-help programs and what it's empowered women. You could see the seed of it when I was there, and these women were speaking up and saying things that they could never say before, and standing up to abuses from their husbands and things like that. And it was a really awakening. I'd love to go back and see that, how what's come of all of that. And I know it's only grown, and the schools, to see all of that with your own eyes. Yes, it's like you can present it, you can talk about it, but when you see it with your own eyes and see and to see how these villagers are living in such harmony with their surroundings too. You know, the way they live, you know, they're growing their own foods, and their fish farms, and just the way of life. It was really something to see, really something. It's something
Absolutely.
everybody should have a chance to see it.
I so much appreciate what you're saying because particularly the children and their yoga,
Yes,
you
our
must
yoga.
have seen what
Yeah,
excellence they had shown, you know,
yeah,
it was absolutely amazing shows that they did, the yoga and gymnastics, and
yeah,
it was so. And even today they do it so well. In each of our schools, yoga is a compulsory thing. Then this meditation is a compulsory thing, and all kinds of play, dance, music, everything is part, because I particularly always believe in one thing: allow everything that is natural inside of you or inside a child to manifest on its own without giving too much from outside. Let what is there inside manifest. You just channelize it, you just allow it to grow on its own. That's all.
yeah, yeah,
That is the essence of true education.
yeah.
Thank you so much, James. It was so good to hear from you. To be very frank, hear from you about the Millennium Peace March that we did in Sandeshkhali, and then at the same time the villages, the work from your mouth. It's so very important because, as you very rightly said, people who know me, they possibly know me as somebody who goes on blah blah on spirituality, but they do not know what exactly has been the contribution of Loknath Divine Life Mission, Baba Loknath's divine grace on these millions of people that have been touched for years and years on now. Consistently, we have worked for last 30 plus years. And millions have been touched in some way or the other, directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
And in all these villages, even today, the values that have been given and imparted is now bearing its fruits. I'm so thankful to God for it. Thank you so much, James.
Thank
We
you.
will meet again. We'll bring you again back some other time, and we will talk more. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And all the viewers, I really thank you so much for being with us. And this has been a wonderful few moments together at this hour. Let us pray for this new year to gradually bring an end to this whole COVID, Corona, COVID, and every time it comes with a new name. But let all this gradually disappear from earth, and only awakening, love, and forgiveness and unity consciousness prevail on earth. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. May there be peace, peace and peace everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.